Okay, the deck has arrived. Am I the problem? And I haven't opened it just yet. It's without any packaging, it's just the deck and it's fully sealed. You can see the colors, the different sections of the cards. I love it. Before I open it, I kind of wanted to share a little bit about why I created it and what's different about it. So it's an Oracle deck, it's not tarot cards. And one of the things that I've been finding myself facing, especially working with clients who are receiving tarot and oracle readings, or just observing the online community, it kind of became clear to me that people are curious, people want answers, people want guidance, they want clarity, and sometimes tarot and oracle cards can be very cosmic. They can be very out there. So I wanted to create something that's a little bit more down to earth. It's a little bit more practical so that you can actually name the things. It's one thing to receive a Five of Pentacle or Five of Cups, and it's another thing to see the word anger or the Tower card. The Tower card suggests shifts and it suggests changes and it might suggest abrupt endings or abrupt emotions. But when the anger card comes into a reading, that gives you some sort of guidance as to, let's examine if I'm feeling anger. Let's examine the anger of someone else that's in our life that we care about. So, Am I the Problem is symbolically created to help us figure out if we can do something to improve our behavior, or if the people we're dealing with are actually toxic and we should take our distance. So, without further ado, let's unpack this. Here it is. Am I the Problem? My first Oracle deck. It's glossy and it looks amazing. So I can't wait to explore all of the cards. One thing that you're going to notice among my products is that I like to use glossy finish. There's just something extra special and nice about it. You're going to see that we have different colors of the cards and they each have a different category. So, as an ADHDer, I realized that I love working with colors and color mapping. And this is my way of making sense of the world and helping you make sense of yours. And each category has more description around what it means. So the first one is the red card. So these are the cardinal problems. These are the problems that, might have started when we were very young. So our view of the world has already been pre-programmed based on the first 7 years, let's say. So the cardinal problems, such as being a sociopath, start very early in our life. So if you find yourself dealing with a sociopath, it's going to be very difficult for you to change them or for you to expect any sudden changes out of the blue. These are patterns that have been repeated time and time again. Obviously, the anger card, you might be angry because something happened that triggered this, state of anger, such as somebody crossing your boundaries, but it might just suggest that somebody is an angry person because they have a lot of repressed trauma. With the liar, you know, oftentimes we're talking about pathological liars. And if you're dealing with a pathological liar, this is not something that's just going to change because you're different. They like to play mind games. And so learning that somebody is a pathological liar can potentially save your life and mental health. But if you find yourself having this card in a reading about you, there might be a lie about you, a lie, that you're trying to sell to yourself, something that you've been lying to yourself about. We like to protect ourselves. So, the awakening card, this is very symbolic of what happens when we begin to awaken and we start to see all the colors. And purple is very much the color of spirituality. So, I think that was the starseed card. I always connect starseed with indigo, and I even have a project mapped out just around starseeds that is in indigo. So I really wanted to include starseed here. This is, I think, the spiritual, the psychic category. And one thing I have also is a handler, which is an experience that I've had to face, discovering that some of the people in my life were handlers. So this was fun. Not really, but you gotta bring some light to the situation and understand that, recognizing that somebody's a handler means that your spirit team allowed you to understand that. Karmic contracts, again, recognizing that somebody's a karmic contract, it's not fun, but at least is the first step to realizing how to deal with them. Immature people, I mean, who hasn't met an immature person? But again, if you're dealing with an immature person, don't expect changes overnight. What else can we unlock here? Let's see, the blue cards. Grief. Yes, if somebody is a highly functioning adult, but they're in a state of grief, obviously they're not emotionally available, but equally so they need help, they need support, and they need they're going to show up differently in relationships, but also they're going to require of you to show up differently. Rejection. Sometimes we get, I think we have two cards here, denial and rejection, which are very similar, but one is more passive, whereas the other is a little bit more active. So sometimes we are going to be in a state of denial and somebody trying to help us, we're just going to block them because we're not ready to hear it. Versus rejection, especially if we're used to certain patterns, if we're used to dealing with love bombing and somebody's real with us, good for us, but we're not used to that kind of treatment, we might just reject them because they're not triggering our abandonment wounds or something like that that gives us that rush of dopamine. Mentally unstable. I mean, I think we've all met some people that are mentally unstable, and because when we're younger, we think to ourselves, oh, it's too early for somebody to be mentally unstable. But the truth is, some people become mentally unstable quite early because they were onboarded onto earth with mentally unstable parents, and so, or older siblings, and so they kind of inherit that trauma. Again, most humans on earth have some sort of trauma. The question really is, when do we unlock the learning modalities for it? When do we get code to actually do the inner work? We have some black cards as well. Obviously, these are the shadow cards. The energy vampire. I love this one. I mean, I've had so many people in my life that were energy vampires, and they don't always look as obvious as this. Sometimes they just come into your life as people with a lot of gossip, people with a lot of problems and drama, or a lot of fears, and they just want you to hold their hand and soothe them. And essentially, at some point, you understand, oh, this person is wasting my time. Yep, because they just wanted your energy. You were supplied to them. So these are the cards. They will be on Kickstarter from 1st of December until the end of December if you want to get your copy. Obviously, this is just the first release, and I'm hoping to create a bigger order to reduce the price. It's going to be very practical. I'm preparing a guide as well, but yeah, let me know what you think. I really wanted to create something that is more practical, that gives you clarity in real time, and you don't have to analyze it for too much. It just gives you more support as you're working with the usual cards, tarot and oracle. Actually, I've not done a shuffle just yet. Let's see. Oh, we have the first card here, addiction. Don't be too addicted to these readings, but also understand that the inner work is a process, and so you find your answers when the time comes, not earlier than you should know. And when the awareness begins to flow, don't block it. Love bombing. Don't love bomb yourself as you're trying to heal, as you're trying to work through the traumas, through the awareness, through the distortions, everything in its right time. Okay, 2 cards to finish this goddess complex here, the energy vampire, and the shape shifter. Beware of shapeshifters. These are the people that morph into society quite well, but inevitably they remain a mystery, mostly because they have so many boundaries and so many woes that you don't stand a chance of getting to know them. They make sure that that is their protection by morphing into society so well. Okay, last one. The grief. Oh, we've already seen the grief. Mentally unstable. Fixer. Yes. Okay. We're going to end this video with the fixer. The archetype or personality type that tries to sweep everything under the rug because they fear confrontation. The good guy. But ultimately, it's a manipulation, it's a tactic, and it's not really a sign of maturity. Am I the problem? Launching on December 1st on Kickstarter.